By way of introduction, this is Steve Tratner at AHCP. Most of you know me. We're here today with Allstate Benefits for another powerful session to help you uncover more options to maximize your revenue. So thanks so much for tuning in today. For our newer guests, just so you know, here's the AHCP commercial. It's always our mission to help brokers grow their business by supplying them the insurance products, the training, the technology, and the best personal support you need in order to be successful at your business. By the way, AHCP is part of National General Insurance, which in turn is a subsidiary of Allstate Insurance. Thus, why we're offering Allstate Benefits today in our webinar. With so many in-house solutions that we have at our fingertips, it's why AHCP is able to provide such a complete turnkey solution for agents and agencies who want to spend more time selling, making money, less time on all those non-sales tasks that really eat into your productivity. I'm so excited to have Melissa Cook and Sid Clark from Allstate Benefits here with me today to show you how super simple it is to add self-funded group insurance to your repertoire, even if you're not actively targeting employers. So I will turn it over to Melissa and Sid. The floor is all yours, folks.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Just a quick chat. I already see my first chat in there, but unfortunately it has to do with audio for Jill. I heard Steve perfectly there, so it wasn't going in and out. So it might be your headset. Just an FYI. But wanted to, thank everybody for jumping on. Also wanted to make sure that the promise of a quick coffee kind of date with myself and Melissa Cook is honored. So just pay close attention, because there will be a point where we ask you to put in the chat box some information in order to qualify for that cup of Joe or gift card, as we live in a virtual world that we can get over to you. So pay close attention to that. And we'll basically get started. Melissa and I will kind of bounce back and forth for the first couple of slides, and then she'll take it to the finish line. So without further ado, Melissa, if you'd like to go ahead and kick things off, that'd be fantastic.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Some of you may have spoken to me in the past. I've done quite a bit of outreach to AHCP agents and USADG to try and connect everybody and also talk about our group health. So thank you for being on the call here with Sid and I. We had previously been National General. For those of you who worked on the individual side, you may already be working with National General. We have since become Allstate Benefits, and so we have officially rebranded as Allstate Benefits. So just know that for those of you who are used to seeing that NatGen name, Allstate is the new thing, and the individual side is going to slowly be rebranded as well shortly.
Yeah, that name is Allstate Health Solutions for the individual folks. So you'll see some rebranding happening. They like to do what they call the light switch approach. So everything will be rebranded all at once, but the individual products like short-term medical, things of that nature, Allstate Health Solutions should be coming out with their branding under the Allstate banner in the coming months. So that's super exciting. The big question I would want to answer for everyone attending this, anybody that is just engaged in sales, is why is it important to look at group health? Why would you talk about it? Why am I even going to go after group health? It's not my specialty. I focus on something else, individual coverage, Medicare, leads, things of that nature. But there's a ton of value to just being able to know you have a solution for it and a team to help you through that process. So Number one, first and foremost, it's worth your time because of the dollars and the reoccurring dollars that get paid to you on a monthly and annual basis. Medical cases are big dollar commissions because they're the third largest item in any business owner's expense. So it's a very important line item. So we have great commissions that are built into the program that make it worth your time. It's super simple. And the reason health insurance in general is just a complicated subject, but we make it simple. So Melissa Cook will handhold you from it's your first medical case to your fifth medical case and on. She will help explain to you the quote again 3 times if needed, or break everything down to very simple terms. So you really have a partner that you're referring basically a census to, and we're going to help you every step of the way. You got to stay engaged from the relationship perspective, and you got to be able to be dangerous with some of the high level information. But really what we're just trying to help you do is to identify a group opportunity, get a census, and engage us to help you close that deal. We've had successful relationships where it's not really their cup of tea, and all they do is talk to people all day with individual products or Medicare products or anything along those lines, and they run into business owners. And when you're prepared to say something very high level to a business owner, you're able to get a lead that we will help you close. So that's why it's so simple. Health insurance by no means is simple. If you sell anything on the individual side, you know that, but we make it much easier for you to actually accomplish that. Flexible plan options, we can basically replicate anything that's out there in the market from a health insurance perspective, so you don't have to overthink that. We can help you climb your tiers for higher comp within AHCP. So just know that we're a qualified carrier for you to be able to reach those tiers. And I mean, at the end of the day, if group insurance is not the right fit, you just open the door to however many employees are at that company or more individuals. So at the end of the day, individual leads for you is always a good thing. So knowing when you can capitalize on something like that is super important. So I think that gives you tremendous value as far as why even think or talk or look or know what to do when you get a group health lead. And hopefully you take advantage of that. Back to you.
So after speaking with a lot of agents, and when we hear from agents that mainly focus on individual, the biggest reasons why agents don't sell group health is, one, they sell individuals. So the answer, when we talk about it and we ask, do you sell group health? It's no, I sell individual. As you're prospecting and talking to those individual clients, keep in the back of your mind and consider, do you ever sell to an individual or business owners, or individual business owners, that would possibly be open to the idea of offering group health to their business and not just for themselves? Another rebuttal that we get is, I don't know anything about group health. Like Sid said, I'm here from start to finish. You're never going to be on your own. It's not like after this PowerPoint, sink or swim, and we just gave you everything that you need to know. I'm going to be there from the first time that you ever either prospect or send us a census all the way until that sale closes. Another reason that we get is I mainly focus on Medicare. By offering group health, you're able to cross-sell so many opportunities and open the doors to all different types of lines of insurance. So keep that in mind. It's like you get paid for just getting us the lead. Like Sid talked about, and what we're going to talk about a lot, is that we're there for you from start to finish, step by step. We're able to answer questions, get on Zoom calls like we are now, and help you get the sale in the end. So for those who don't know how to talk about group health, came up with this kind of flow chart. So how to talk about group health. The first question as you're prospecting that you are going to want to ask is, are you an employer or an employee? If they are an employee, obviously not a candidate to talk about group health unless they're willing to go to their employer and ask them. But if the answer is that their employer, the follow-up question to that should be, do you have any employees? If the answer is no, it might just be a single person that has or is an employer but doesn't have any employees. We have to have at least 2 enrolled to offer group health coverage to. If the answer is yes, the follow-up question could be, do you offer current health? And regardless of what their answer is, yes or no, talk to them about how simple it is that I would love to show you some options and all I need is a census. It's really easy as that. Once we get a census, I can help you create the plan for your clients, get on that call if they have questions, and explain the product to them in a way that both you and they understand. So I think a lot of people think that group health is scary to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about things that they're uncomfortable talking about. And so that's part of the reason, and one of the biggest roadblocks I think that a lot of individual sellers have to talk about group health. So we try and make it easy. I hope by showing you this slide that it does show the simplicity of it. At the end goal is just to get a census. You have to just, pre-qualify them with a few questions, and then we can help you every step after that.
Yeah, that talk track is great, and I would empower all of you to kind of develop your own talk track along those guidelines. If you have the comfort when you're talking to an individual and they say they're an employee, how many coworkers do you have? If they only have 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to about 25 coworkers, that is really our sweet spot. And you could actually maybe get introduced to a business owner that wasn't on your prospecting list. So even if they are just an employee, and instead of putting it on the employee to go back to the employer, see if you can get an introduction to that employer if they're under 25. I would highly recommend that as an additional prospecting tool. But great talk track. We'll definitely share this information so you kind of have the bare bones. Make something else and give it a shot. So reasons to offer group health. Now, if you do get in a quick conversation with a business owner, why would I do that when everybody can just get their own insurance? Or I don't want to worry about that right now. I just need to take care about myself, right? You might get some immediate pushback from a business owner. So when you get a business owner on the line, it's important to understand the reasons for offering some group health. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of all these different things, and I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't really go through the tax benefits. But the main reason is it's valuable to employees. So to keep employees happy with where they're at, one of the top things that employees look for is, what are the benefits? If there are none, it's harder to keep or attract and retain employees. So retention of employees goes up quite a bit if there's a group health plan in place and the employer is sponsoring something like that. And then from an employee, pre-tax deductions from the payroll. So actually using your bringing down your taxable income, not paying taxes on payroll withdrawals for health insurance. There's some tax benefits at the individual level as well as the group level. So, again, we're not financial accountants or anything along those lines. So you can't talk too deeply on there, but there's definitely a conversation to be had with their financial advisor or CPA about the tax benefits of offering group health for the individuals that take it and the business. Overall, it's just a value to your business. To be an employer that cares about their employees enough to help them find health insurance and to shop the best prices out in the market, a group health plan is one of the best ways to do that. You can confidently say that Allstate Benefits, the plans that we sell what's called a level funded or self-funded group health plan. And it's typically about 20% better priced than the typical plans offered in your area. And when I say the typical plans, I'm talking about the Blue Crosses, the Uniteds, the Cignas, the Aetnas, the big carriers that are considered fully insured programs. We offer with this level funded program about a 20% discount compared to a fully insured alternative for most groups. So you can confidently say, hey, I'll probably be able to show you some savings if you've ever been shown group before. So with that being said, with the next slide, this is the kind of the halfway point that I wanted to quickly ask you all to somewhat participate in. So in order to get your coffee gift card, email and phone number in the chat, please. That way we can follow up with you, see if we get and discuss the takeaways or the action items that you're going to be putting in place to try to find group health leads or to try to explore them. So in the chat right now, just share one thing that you've learned so far, one action item that you'll actually take today and start doing every day moving forward. And then just make sure that we have your email or contact information so that we can follow up and get that in your inbox as soon as possible after the presentation. So I would encourage that. And then any other questions that you have, please, we'll have a Q&A at the end that we'll open up and read your questions aloud and answer them to the best of our abilities. So please make sure that you are using that chat feature. All righty. And Melissa, if you want to move on to the Allstate product kind of overall portfolio and kind of drive from here.
Yeah, absolutely. So going to give you enough information to be dangerous as you are going to be out and prospecting or considering clients that you already have or people that you already want to talk to. So by working with Allstate Benefits, you get access to our full suite of benefits. So that includes the major medical, which is what I will help you on, along with ancillary options, so dental, vision, life, and then we have our worksite benefits or our group voluntary options as well. These might seem a little bit more familiar to you or products that you might feel a little bit more comfortable, but we do have accident, cancer, critical illness, disability, hospital indemnity, and life. So it doesn't just stop with the health with us. We have a lot of different options to add on and kind of piggyback off that health, that group health that you would be starting with. We have a self-funded dental and vision that's going to be launching for all 8-1 and after groups. So that's going to be just tagged on to the end of the health quote. It's going to be one bill, one premium, and then they would be able to offer dental and vision on a self-funded level. We do also have what we call Vitality. Vitality is our wellness program. A lot of different options for the employer, which is nice. They can offer wellness with rewards or without. And so what that means is that the group would be able to go get their biometric screening. And if they do, they can get an Amazon gift card. And the employer can elect to either allow that Amazon gift card to go out or not. And without it, you just get access to the Vitality website. And then our third option for Vitality is our rewards mall. So they're able to go on, enter challenges, and then from there, buy things off of that rewards mall based on the points that they earn. The other feature or add-on that we have is called MeMD. It is our telemedicine provider. Not only can you go to urgent care for minor illnesses, but there also is talk therapy with licensed therapists. You get up to 5 of those per month as long as you're 18 years or older. So that's a really big value. A lot of people have been focusing more on mental health than I think ever. And so the ability to be able to just talk via Zoom or MeMD to talk to a licensed therapist is a big value add for your clients. So these are just things that you would add on to the health and things that are just going to bring added value to the health plan that you're offering. So you all heard Sid talk about quote unquote other carriers, and he had mentioned, you know, Blue Cross, United, Aetna, Cigna. And then he had mentioned that we are a level funded or a self-funded program. What the difference between us and other carriers, we are called fully insured, is with a fully insured product, you're going to pay 100% of the premium, and that's going to go directly to the carrier. With a level funded or a self-funded program, we are going to take the premium that you give us, and we're going to actually split it into 3 separate components. One is stop loss, and we'll explain that in a little bit. We are going to talk about the administrative costs. So basically making the plan run and operate. And then lastly, part of that premium is paid towards the claims fund. So over the 12 months, the total amount that they would have in their claims fund, that's going to be the money that essentially the insurance carrier would normally pay. They're self-funding those claims. They're self-funding their own claims. And then at the end of the year, they're eligible for a refund of part of their claims fund, regardless of what happens that following year. So I know that can be a little bit confusing. You know, questions come up like, what happens if we run out of money in our claims fund? That's where stop loss kicks in. It's built in to protect the group from ever having to pay more than what's in their claims fund. And then like we talked about, a value add, it's kind of a cherry on top, is not only could they save up to 20% or more compared to other carriers, but they also could get a refund of partial premium at the end of the year. So that's kind of how it works a little bit differently, is we're not just keeping all of their premium for ourselves. We actually, part of the premium is actually going to go back, hopefully, to the employer and also help them pay for their own claims.
So yeah, and to think about that stop loss, it's really 2 examples of the carrier on the right. Every dollar that is spent goes to them, and the risk goes to them, and it basically transfers the risk for a dollar amount. What we do is we kind of tear apart what the fully insured industry has done, rebuilt it, and passed along those savings or overpayments from certain groups, and pass that to the member. And then if they run better than what we expected them to run, we give that money back. So it's being transparent with the dollars. A lot of people want transparency in this market. So it's a very simple conversation that you can have on every quote if need be. But the big takeaway is that it acts, feels, and looks just like the other products that are out there in the marketplace. The key differentiator is that you just need to qualify for it. And we'll go into a little bit of detail that towards the end. But the next slide, I wanted to give Melissa just a quick break before continuing on. This outlines really our broad net that you can throw out there to fill the top of the funnel for leads. So group sizes, if you uncover an employer that is between 200 and 300 on a medical plan, we can be a solution for them, right? That group segment is split between Melissa, who mostly focuses in the 2 to 50, and typically with sales channels like AHCP, will have the most success with that. But if you do uncover a group 51 plus enrolled, we can help you close that deal as well. The sweet spot for us in the under 50 market continues to be between 2 and 25, with average enrolled about 10 enrolled employees. So we're talking about small groups that we love and we lean into, and we take the time and effort that majority of the market ignores. So if you get pushed off because they feel like there's no solutions out there, there definitely are. And push back a little bit and ask them if they've seen a quote from Allstate Benefits. Likely not. So we have many different options. Again, we have a broad portfolio of products. It's going to depend on where the group is, the appetite from the business about how well they understand health insurance, or if they have somebody that specializes, like an HR person that is paid to help understand it, versus maybe a business owner that wears multiple hats. But we'll simplify the product offerings and make the relationship, if you get the relationship or a story to us with a quote. So we have a bunch of different options. We can offer in-network and out-of-network benefits, in-network only benefits at a discount. reference-based pricing, which is an aggressive cost containment type program that can really bottom out the premiums, taking groups to the 50 to 60% savings range. Not the best fit for everyone, but definitely in our portfolio. So you'd be leaning on us to make that recommendation. And then again, ancillary products, work sites. You can confidently say, and I put it in quotes because I want you to use it, I'll be showing you something different than you've seen before. So if they've owned a business, or if they are an employee of or an employer, or an employee of an employer, you know, hey, arm them with, we're going to see something different that will likely be worth our time to explore. So that's the main point of that. And then Melissa, you can take it to the end here.
So what does this look like for you, the agent? This is a snapshot of part of the quote that we send out to you. And at the bottom there, it shows the total premium for this example group. We talked about those 3 separate buckets, the stop loss. So you can see exactly how much is going towards stop loss. You can see exactly how much is going towards admin, sales, and general expenses, and then exactly how much every month that they're funding their claims fund. So if you look at the top where it says annual aggregate attachment points, that's the money that they have for the year to pay for their claims. If they have a year where they have $1 million in claims, because part of that premium is paid towards stop loss, we would take out the whatever is in their aggregate, and Allstate would cover everything above and beyond what's in there. So we're never going to come back to your clients and say, hey, you ran out of money, or your claim isn't covered because you don't have enough in your claims fund. We'll pay everything above and beyond. If they have a low utilizing year and they're healthier of a group, whatever's left in here, they are eligible for 50 or 100% back of whatever is in their annual aggregate attachment point. So essentially, this group could get over $10,000 back, or upwards of over $20,000 back if they had no claims at all. And that's money for theirs to use for the following year towards any employee benefits. Below, we show the 4 tiered rates. So we don't work off of age banded rates, which is something that I think you see with a lot of other carriers. Every employee, regardless of age, is going to be paying the same amount, and it's just going to depend on the tier that they're paying. So the way that we work is very transparent. We're showing you exactly how we're separating your premium. We're showing you exactly how much each employee is paying, or we're showing you exactly how much you have to pay for your own claim. So it's minimal work. This was just going a little bit into the weeds, but this is minimal work. All we need to do is we just need to get the census from you, and I will put together the quote for you. I will figure out what plan design that we should show, and then from there, I can assist you on a call or explain it to you for you to go to your client. In this example, the comp is going to be around $335 per month, and this depends on the tier. I kind of just took what the average comp is for AHCP here. And that's $28 per employee per month, $4,000 a year. So that's just an added $4,000 a year for basically giving us a census, letting us do the legwork and assist your client. If you do just one group this size every month, you're adding annually $48,000 to what you're currently making now. And like we said, doing minimal work.
Hey, before you keep going,
of this,
real quick, I just wanted to throw out the reminder for everybody to put in something that they've learned from in the chat. I don't want people to miss out on their free cup of Joe. So we see Danya, Curtis, Kevin, Ralph, Kimberly, thanks for putting your stuff in. Bruce, Donna, Jose, make sure you put the contact information for you, email, phone number, and something that you're taking away from this. In addition to something that you're going to do tomorrow to start trying to find a group health lead, because the best time to take something is fresh and start going after it right away. So sorry to cut you off there, Melissa. I see about 35 people on here, and I only got about 10 gift cards to give away. So I want to make sure that everybody gets their gift card for doing that. So you can keep going on. Thanks.
So a real life example of this is I was working with an AHCP agent. We sold a group for January 1 in 21. The group was out of Illinois. They were put on an Aetna Advantage plan, so using Aetna's nationwide PPO, but just offering in-network benefits only, a $5,000 deductible with 100% coinsurance, and this was a copay plan. The premium was $15,949. That means that this agent specifically made $800 monthly in commission, a total of $9,600 for the year. And from start to finish, I was able to handhold. I had many meetings with the employer, was emailing back and forth and corresponding with not only the employer, but with the agent as well. And so he was able to get $9,600 added comp for that year. The group did renew, and when we renew, your commission does go down about 1%. So that was an estimated $8,000 for the following year as well, and it's going to be paid out year after year. You get paid on renewal, so it's not just like you get paid for the 12 months and then it stops. It's kind of mailbox money at that time, or what we like to call it, where you do minimal work and it just shows up in the mail and the group renews. We do have account managers in place and support staff to also support you in helping those groups that are in force as well. So just keep in mind, I wanted to show a real life example. I don't want you to think that we've never sold with AHCP before, or that this isn't a possibility for group or an agent that sells mainly individual. This is a real life example of a agent that only focused on individual, had this random group health conversation come up, and then was able to sell and make a good amount of money by letting me assist them throughout the entire process. So what is needed to get a group? We're talking about how easy this is and how I'm going to handhold the entire time. So the first step that we need to do, like we said, is get a census. And by census, we just need genders, dates of birth, dependent information. We need to know the group information, so their name, zip code, what effective date they're trying to get, and then their industry description. So if you have their SIC code or you know what type of business they are, please include that. And then if they have a current plan information or rates or renewal, a lot of the groups that you may talk to already have a health plan in place or maybe have shopped with other carriers. You can get that information. It's really going to help us because we're going to be able to match plan designs to show how we look competitively, and comparison-wise, it's going to be much easier for us to know exactly what we're going against. Once we get that initial rates to you, you can show them to the employer, or you don't have to. You could just advise them to get health applications if you think they are competitive. And that's something that I will be able to help you with too, and helping you understand and know if it is a competitive initial quote. And then from there, we need to get applications to get firm rates, and it's just a health questionnaire that's submitted directly to me. We can, and then we send it down to underwriting. So it's pretty easy. Basically, just get us a census. I'll be able to advise if we should move forward or not, and then have each employee that's enrolling fill out an application to get firm rates. We can do this really easily by sending you an application link. So this email, we could send it to the HR person, the employer, for them to send to all their employees. They click on the link, they enter the employee code, and then from there, they answer all the medical questionnaires right online. They can do this on their phone, on a tablet, on a computer. So we make it very easy. And then when the app is complete, it comes back directly to us in our software. So that employer never has to see any medical questions by accident, or never has to worry about, collecting all those applications. They come back directly to us. So we make it very easy. This is a tool that we provide to all agents, and an easy way for them to get applications because it's all done online. So here's some tips and tricks. I mean, we really can't say it enough. get me involved, whether it's a pre-qualifying conversation, whether you just want to ask a few more questions after the call, whatever it is, let me know. We can definitely set up some time to go over products or get on a call with employers, employees. I'm here to help you and trying to make things easier. I know that group health isn't everyone's specialty. You're going to want to work on a pitch. So like we talked about that talk track earlier, we're going to pitch and then we'll discuss how to proceed from there. Without this, it says we will not sell. It's a must to start working with us. So you got to figure out how you're going to start prospecting and how you're going to start talking to individuals about group health or employers about group health. I can give you a little advice if I think that would work, or things that I've seen in the market or I've seen other agents do. But you got to be able to work on a pitch and be able to talk about group health to those individuals or employers. We talked about getting applications. We have that online tool. We also can accept paper. But one thing that does not work is that if you go to an employer and say, I'm going to show you something different. Sid had said earlier that that's one thing that you're going to want to say to employers because it is different. I'm going to show you something different. Do you think that you'd want to fill out health applications to get firm rates? The answer is always going to be no. People want to take the path of least resistance. People don't necessarily want to fill out applications or take the time to do those things. So it needs to be your recommendation. You need to say, I advise you to fill out these applications for us to get firm rates, or even fill out these applications and I can get firm rates. So being direct and not really giving them an option to say no is going to be a key when you're trying to sell and prospect. And then lastly, you have to have a backup plan to an offer. So not all groups will be a good fit because we require applications, because our rates are based off of health conditions. Some groups might come in and the health just isn't there and it's just not a good fit. We're maybe not as competitive as we had thought we would be, or maybe other carriers are beating us. So make sure that you have other carriers in your back pocket to transition to if we aren't a good fit with them once we get firm rates. So we're going to open it up to some Q&A. I think there are some things in the chat box.
I got them all teed up.
Wanted to end?
I got the chat box
perfect.
teed up, so I'll just go Q&A with us too. We got about 8 minutes scheduled, so we'll get through the questions as quickly as possible. Keep hitting them through the chat box if they have them as we're buttoning up, and we'll leave Melissa's contact information, which brings me to my first question, and I want to hear Melissa's response to this. Is it only Melissa that does this? How can she keep up with everything? Availability. Why don't you speak to kind of how you're going to be able to do that?
Yep. So I am available all the time, work from home. It's kind of made me change the radiator. So I'm available via email, cell phone, phone call, whatever have you. Once we have that conversation, yes, right after this webinar, the chances are we'll probably set up a few meetings, or we'll talk to a few more agents than we normally do. But once you are able to understand the product and I'm able to help and assist you, it becomes pretty easy for you. And so even though I am the only person there, the availability, I'm always available for you. Maybe it might not be immediately, maybe it's something that we might have to set up later, but it's definitely something that I've handled the relationship with AHCP for a while now, as well as other agents throughout the country. So I'm ready to take it on and help everybody else with the small group health segment.
I would challenge all of you all to try to get her to not be able to call you back same day, or take on a prospecting call with you when you have an agent or a business owner interested. I guarantee that we'll have somebody for you. So the next question, there's a couple I'm just going to kind of plow through in respect of everybody's time. There is a question. It says, is this guaranteed until age 65, regardless of claims? And also, will rates rise on an individual company basis, or how your book is structured? So we truly to answer the second question first, will rates rise on an individual company basis or on the book? We have basically the ability to rate each individual company based on their overall risk. So when Melissa was talking about how we use health applications to establish the first initial rate, that's our unique advantage in the marketplace, where we're able to take health information on a group and be able to price the group accurately for them to stand on their own. So if that group stays the same census with the same kind of risk and health that we originally wrote it with, you're not going to see these increases that you see on the fully insured side just because they're part of that block of business. So that was a great question. Is this a guaranteed issue until 65? Because the product itself is not a guaranteed issue product, but if a member is on the plan and they're enrolled and the group is still with us and the person turns 65, they stay on our plan if they want to. They can obviously go to Medicare. We don't kick people off at age 65. So it's not a guaranteed issue product that we're going to guarantee all employees get coverage with our group plan, but it is a guarantee that the age 65 person will not age off. So I think I answered that question. Clarify in the chat. If not, marketing materials, Melissa has exactly what you need. We do have our website that we'll pass out via email from everybody's contact information to make sure that you have that. But we want to know where you are, where you're prospecting, if it's in a certain territory, to arm you with specific targeted networks. Different group sizes are a little bit different in state by state. So you want to get familiar with that. I would highly engage that Melissa on where you're prospecting and where you think that you're going to need some marketing materials to see if we can dial that in a little bit. Is there a product in Florida? Yeah, I used to manage the Florida market for a group of 10. That's a fantastic group to send over for group quotes. And New York, actually over 100 is the only way that we can play there. So there's about 5 states, New York, California, so that require a little bit bigger groups that we don't really play in the 2 to 25 space. So what I would encourage there is get on the phone with Melissa as well. Since this is a national call, I can't break down all 50 states, unfortunately. Comp drops from one to another dollar amount. That was, I guess our example was a little bit off from the 1%, but Steve put in there that commission schedules based on your tier with all AHCP products. So make sure that you call 877-228-8773. And get the specific information on commission for your specific cases. The only other question I think is there a number of enrollees where we use what they say Milliman or non-application underwriting? And the answer is yes. Currently, we're piloting about 12 markets that will do some appless underwriting. There's some rules to that. So depending on where you're at, you'll definitely know, and where the group is at, you'll know if they need to do apps or not based on the census and where the group is headquartered and if they have current coverage. So the only way that we can do it currently to date is if the group is in 12 specific states and they have current coverage with another level funded carrier like us. So there's some rules on it and it's specific to certain markets. So again, call Melissa and get the information that you need for where you are trying to work specifically. I don't think I missed anything else. If you have any other questions, please drop them now, but we got about 2 minutes left. And just want to say a big thank you to Steve for putting us out here again. Hopefully it's valuable to you all, and hopefully we can do this again and encourage some participation from you all to find some prospects to make some money.
So there's a couple more questions that popped up here.
Oh, I do, in the Q&A box. I see it. You want me to answer those real quick?
Yeah, feel free.
All right. So pre-existing conditions, for example, a pregnant employee. So yes. So when we underwrite a group and find the right rate for a group, we cover all the pre-existing conditions that are out there. We just will price for them. So in the example of a pregnancy, say we have a 10-person census and 10 are enrolling and 1 person is pregnant. That typically won't move the needle on a group for us, but it would have a rate score attached to it. So if you had 5 pregnancies in one group, then the rate would probably tick up from there. So it'd be more expensive for them to go our health insurance versus maybe an alternative out there. But the pre-existing conditions are covered. So if we underwrite it, we're covering it with underneath our SBD. There's no like pre-X exclusions. All of this stuff is ACA compliant. The preventative law covered at 100% still applies as well. So if they're in a plan, what is normally the process on switching over? The best targeted thing I could tell you from a sales perspective is identifying the plan design that they're currently in and the invoice in which they're currently paying. You get those 2 things, we'll put a quote together for you. We will know if we're competitive or not and make a recommendation on whether or not to get applications. So the more information that you can get, and we can jump on those calls for you as well from the high level introduction standpoint. But there's really not an additional information that you need from a current plan design. We build all the plans a la carte. So you just want to kind of have an idea of what type of plan they have. Do they have an HSA qualified plan, or do they have a copay plan? What's important to them? The deductible being high or low, cost, etc. So just give us something to drive with so that we can prepare a quote that's worth their time. Networks that are available that just came in. We have Cigna and Aetna as our 2 main networks that are out there from a national perspective, also PHCS. Then there's a lot of regional networks that we offer. So if you're in the 3 main cities in Texas, for example, we employ a network there that is skinny nationally and very robust in those big metro markets. So maybe that's all you need, and it comes at a very aggressive price point. It's called Healthcare Highways. We have access to, I don't know, dozens of different networks depending on where the group is, but you need to lean on us as far as making sure that we provide the best solution to the client. And once we have a group in place, we can discuss those details a little bit more. So as far as any opportunities that are out there, please contact Melissa. Get her your contact information, let her know you're interested. I guarantee you she will follow up with you and check in with you and engage you if you're ready to go try to sell some group business. So again, thank you so much. I don't see any other questions. I have them both open. They're not lighting up for me.
Hey, Sid, one parting comment, which is because this is a product that's still underwritten through the National General underwriters, if you're not already contracted with National General, we can assist you with that. Just contact our office at either 877-228-8773 or at contracting@ahcpsales.com. So we can get you contracted with National General. And once you go ahead and submit your first census, then we'll make sure that we've got you on the group appointment as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Steve, for having us. If there's any other questions, I think it's clear Melissa's the answer. Give her a buzz. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sid. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks
Thank you
everybody
all.
for joining us today.